under the name of Macaulay, informs us that Macaulay did not find even a single beggar. The people doubt whether such report was available, was made by Macaulay or not. Irrespective of this fact, whether some facts are true or some facts are not true, the prominent point which was made by him was this. And that was bought by intellectuals of this country, so-called intellectuals of this country. And that changed the mental setup. And we are suffering because of that. And what was that? He said that we are, in those days, he has to rule this country. So, he has to get acquainted with the culture of this country. And all the cultural records are in Sanskrit. So what should he do? He should approach the Pandits and learn all these things from him. And he found that the people, the Pandits, are so deep-rooted in their culture. Who is capable of uprooting them from their culture? How can you uproot them? He found it very difficult. And he frankly told his masters. What he said? That unless we change this education system, the education system which has taken to the very deep root of their country, is that cultural education. I don't think you are going to rule this country. So the Pandits should be told, how much are you getting a month? Oh, you are teaching Badarayana Sutra, you are teaching Ramanuja, you are teaching Madhva, Shankara, Panini, Dharmashastra, Veda, Brahmana, Upanishad, what not, everything you are teaching. Day and night you are doing that. But how much are you getting at the end of the day? You are starving out of food. You cannot maintain yourself. You cannot provide marriages to your daughters. No, this Pandit used to prepare what you call manuscripts, the copy from one manuscript to another manuscript, and the jamindars and the kings used to pay for that, to preserve. A text is written in some form, and if they copied, say some 5 rupees were given to him. So this much a book, he copies and gets 5 rupees at the end. And he keeps on, because these are all in the colophons of the manuscripts, these facts are mentioned there. And this is how he collects money, and then at the end, if some 100, 200 rupees he accumulate, then he gives marriage to his daughter. He says, how long should you continue this? So the education of your cultural education, the Indian education has spoiled your life. You become clerks. Short-term education, little education in English will make you fit to become a clerk. And once you become a clerk, a fixed amount of salary you will be getting every month. You can maintain yourself, you can maintain your family, you can give marriages, you make marriages and all the social obligations that you can perform with this money. So which education is better? This education, Sanskrit education or this education? Many agreed, but many did not agree. Those who agreed, we are reaping the result of that. They got trained in that system. A mindset was prepared. and the mindset continues even today. It is a misnomer to say that we are opposed to any other knowledge system. It is not true. Ours is a great, great tradition, intellectual tradition. Never, don't forget. We have been always eager to know what others say. There is an ample space for others' views in our psychological life, philosophical life, in our intellectual tradition. We always have honored Purva Paksha. We have never made any conclusion without giving due consideration to the thoughts of Purva Paksha. So it is not that we are all dogmatic. It is not that we are all blind. It is not that we do not invite other views. It is not true that we do not have any space for others' opinion. It is only those who are ignorant totally of all, those who have no education in Sanskrit, who have no training in Sanskrit, carry to cherish this view. We are open to all knowledge systems. Even Charvakas, and your center has published one book now, Tattvopaplava Simha of Jayarashi Bhatta, the only available text in a way in full. Some things are missing also there. So, yavat jive sukham jive. If you do not have money, rinam kritva ghritam pibe. Now, every day you must be receiving 10 phone calls from different financing companies. You don't have money? Oh, don't worry. I give you. Earlier they used to say, I'll give you 80%. Now they say 100% they will give you. So, we have also not ignored such views of life. So, we have always been in dialogue. We have always encouraged dialogue. We have always valued other opinions. We want to revive that tradition. Revive the tradition of looking life as a whole. Address inquiry not only into physical aspect of universe, but also the mental aspect. Not in the world outside, but also the world inside. Who will inquire about the world inside? One friend of my physicist, he tells me, the professor, those who inquire about the world inside in physics, I ask physicists, does the world inside me constitute the world as a whole or not? Are you happy? Oh yes. Are you unhappy sometime? Yes. So this sukha, dukkha also belong to the world or not? You have knowledge. Does it exist on the table? So unless it exists on the table, how can you take it to the lens in a laboratory? So what is sukha? What is dukkha? What is jnana? What is ichcha? What is dvesha? What is prayatna? What is dharma? What is adharma? Who will give answers? Are these not the matters of inquiry? So the Indian tradition, as inquires to the physical world, so also inquires into the inner world, psychological world. And therefore, this view of inquiry, this method of inquiry must be revived. Our forefathers, the seers, the rishis, were aware of this fact. So as they used to inquire into the physical world, so also they used to inquire into the inner world, psychological world, philosophical world, cultural world. That view, holistic view of inquiry, must be provided by modern education. And do you agree, or will you support that does modern education provide this holistic view? And which is better? Is the prevailing education system better or the holistic education system better? If you agree that holistic is better, and holistic is not, holistic has been the method of India right from the Vedic times till today. And if all this dialogue, all these reflections are available in Sanskrit, then why should Sanskrit not be made available to the learners? I reflect the things in this way. And that is why I started this kind of exercises of torturing you all. Gangadhar ji has rightly said that you should not feel discouraged. Chalan eva skhalati. Huh? Who will fall? One will walk. If you sit, will you ever fall? So, jagrata, uttishtata, jagrata, prapya varan nivodhata. That is, Vivekananda took this mantra, awakening, this kind of awakening is required. But be it, make it, underline it, that unless this education policy is dramatically changed, drastically changed, and the old value-based education system is brought into place in our country, the situation is not going to change. There are hopes now, but I do not know. Gangadhar ji will know better because he is in a little inner circle. I remained a professor all through. But I will, this is all, this kind of a service I will continue to do. So, Samskrita Preminaha. Don't get disappointed. These are the feelings of my, the negative side of my mind. I feel so bad. Now, how many more years I will be on this planet? But whatever little I have acquired, I feel that even this little is not available in the society. Now, who is going to tell you all this after a few years? But anyway, you see, when people abuse Manu, abuse, because they don't know what Manu is. No. All the root cause of knowledge is your ajnana. You are suffering only because of ajnana, nothing else. Any suffering of any kind is rooted in ajnana. He had a hope, Manu had a hope once, because he was living at a time when India was like that. Etad desha prasutasya sakashat agrajanmanaha swam swam charitram siksheram prithivyam sarvamana. What was his expectation? What was his dream? The time, he was so hopeful that the time is going to come when the enlightened people in this part of the globe will be there, and from whom the rest of the world will start taking inspirations. Many things are there, we do not read, that's all, because it is in Sanskrit. Because Sanskrit has not been made available to us in our general education. So we are completely in dark. And so the attempts which Professor Gangadhar and I are telling you, everybody at every capacity, people are doing service. They also have added a lot In my own capacity, whatever little I know, I am sharing. Whatever is available with you, start sharing with others. That's the only way that if something is not there, will be there. Don't keep it with you. Friends, I am so happy to see you that in spite of all odd situations, I would have been very happy if the younger generation would have been greater in number. But as you said that no age bar. Rather, I am happy that you are here because you are mature. With maturity, you are here. You will understand what I say. And you will not be misled by wrong impressions, so-called impressions. Again, taking X as Y as X. Ajnana. It is very easy to influence, brainwash. And here are the mature brains sitting before me who will not be brainwashed easily. So they have the viveka. So all education must terminate in generating viveka. And once the viveka is there, you are confident. And you will be advising your family, your children, your grandchildren and all to take the right path. I am repeating, I am not asking everybody to become Pandit. But certainly I am asking everyone of this country to learn Sanskrit. Because in this tradition of Sanskrit, there are not even a single aspect of life which is not touched, not reflected. And all those reflections are available in Sanskrit. If you are a sportsman, there are books on sports. If you are a businessman, there are books on business. You are a botanist, there are books on. You are a gardener, there are books on garden. Upavana Vinoda, for example. There is a book. And the beautiful temples, beautiful structures that you find all around the country, has it come without knowledge? Where are the written records? All in Sanskrit. So physical life also has been attended. It is not. So vidyam cha, avidyam cha. That was our holistic. Yastad ved ubhayam saha. Avidyaya mrityum tirtva. Vidyayam mritam ashnute. This is the holistic approach of inquiry, knowledge, and then creating a worldview and creating a viveka in me to choose the right path and proceed towards the fulfillment of life. If this treasure is available in Sanskrit, and if the Sanskrit is not made available to general education, I simply pity the education policy makers, this short-sightedness. And I hope the present government will take note of this gap and will take every step. It is, you see, I don't expect that the members who are sitting in the government are knowledgeable people. But they should have at least realization that there is something very seriously bad in policy, education policy. And to bridge that gap, they should spend days and days with us, who have spent their whole life to understand what India is. We are not going to beg. There is no need of begging anything from them. It is a kind of a demand that they should perform such duties. If they are for the entire country, taking the country in the right direction, then it is obligatory on their part to get acquainted with the reality and see that a proper form of education is provided to our younger generation, so that in coming 10, 15 years, 20 years, India is now a different India than what we are experiencing today. In this exercise that you have participated, you will be remembered because you will be also educating a lot through this. And I hope that you carry on this message to every corner of India Start from your home and let it spread from home to the society, society to the region, region to the country, and from country to the globe. I think with this, little emotional I have become, but you will excuse me if this I do not become emotional on such occasion.